All right, let's see if we can walk you through this. So let me see if I still have my texture apparently. Yes. So Spidey's here. He's kind of cool. Let me turn those on. All right, so Spidey's here, and his texture I think is embedded because it's an FBX. This is gonna be different. All right, let me lose my wood texture because Spidey's a different story. So my wood texture, if I come down here on my table in my material thing, I can see wood grain. I got this cool folder and it says I can open the image and oh, here it is. It's in my textures folder. Okay, cool. What if I moved that? So I'm going to open, let's do this to Explorer here. We'll get there. We'll get there. We'll make more textures. Where am I at? Okay, so documents and then Blender and then this year and then this week. All right, so I've got my wood grain file. I'm just going to throw it somewhere else. Let's see if Blender notices. It doesn't even notice, does it? No, okay. Really? Wow, I can't break things when I want them to break. Yeah, that figures. So that's weird, but I'll show you how to fix it anyway. And then you have purple stuff up on your screen still? No, I was gonna bring it back. Bring it back. All right, so check this out. So go to File, and then External Data, and then at the very bottom of that is Find Missing Files. And then you can just go point it to where the textures live. So, right, if you put things in your textures folder, then you can say, there's the textures folder, find missing files. And then they'll load up. When I get submissions from y'all, like on the weekly, sometimes Blender forgets where your textures are at, even if you package them properly. And this is what I've got to do like every time we're grading. I'm like, okay, find missing files in the textures folder. Oh, good. They didn't choose to make a pink room. Points off immediately. Yeah. Yeah.
What do you got against pink?
What
do you got against pink?
That particular shade of "we can't find your texture pink" shows up way too often. It's probably one of the more universal things in all of 3D. Yeah, this is it's like a violent fuchsia. I don't know what the deal is. It's terrible. Yeah, and so moving around in Blender, right? So here I'm using my middle mouse button. In Unity it'd be something else. In 3ds Max it's something else. All these different standards, but like the pink color, that was like the one thing that everybody doing 3D software could agree on. Like, yeah, we'll stick with that color. That means you done messed up. So anyway, if it's not in your textures folder, find where it is with that find missing files, and you should be good. I still see pink on your screen. Not that I'm judging you, but did we find it? Did you lose the texture? Oh, if you deleted then yeah, that doesn't help. Okay.
But I'm making it properly this time because I didn't know how you did it before, so I literally just went in and placed the PNG on the cube, hoping that it would just work as a reference, not a texture.
Okay.
So fun.
Okay, fun.
Your beard at your no. Color is going to be the same as it missing.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. If we could buy hair dye in that color, we could really mess with some people.
You should do that to your beard, so your beard's on again.
It's there.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yes. Actually, yes. So on Canvas, I probably because you as a student just don't have access to files. I've got to link it somewhere, don't I?
Yeah, there's just a lot going on in there.
Sorry. So Spidey Cube FBX is in our files if you have access to that. And if you don't, let me just add it to this assignment. Apparently we got a lot of other stuff that aren't published. That's fantastic. When we get into normal maps, it'll be even better. Somewhere at the bottom. Yeah. What the actual? Even bigger. There we go. All right, there we go. So it's at the bottom now. If you need it. Okay. Hide him. Hide him. I'm gonna move my chair. So we were rushing because I was, trying to do too much, and I did not like where we ended with the chair. So I'm going to do some adjustments to that. Move it back into place. Chair's just kind of ugly. So we got as far as we did the bridging across the back. So we have back support and kind of a head support. Everything's kind of blocky and chunky. I'm going to move some things back, and then we're going to add some curve to those supports. So I'm going to come over here and hit Y, and I'll just select all of that, which is only getting the front. Twisting, invert, intersect. Let's try that. Love it. There's a way to do this. They keep moving my tools. All right, I'll just go around to the back and we'll do it from there too. So I'm just trying to grab all the stuff at the top. So I'm going to shift and then do another box select. I've got all that. I'm just going to pull it back a little bit. Oof. Kind of bends that. All right, we'll do it this way. Let's do these ones. There we go. And I'll just pull those back first. We'll do this step at a time. Get a little bend there. Use my Control Plus because I've got a number pad. And then I'll pull those back. Just give it a little form. A little lean back. I want a straight up chair. And now I'm going to do some cool stuff here with this. So I'm going to start with the middle one. I'm doing both at the same time. So use my select tool. I'm going to grab an edge from each of these planks or whatever they are that we've bridged in here. And using my select, I'm going to go to select rings, edge rings. Now I've got 4 of those, and 4 of those should be 8 edges selected. I do. Perfect. Go to edge, subdivide, and for now I'm just going to do one. So one subdivision. So I've got an edge loop in the middle there. So I'm going to grab those. Again, I'm just going to grab one of each, and then select edge loops this time. Back I have 8 edges selected. and we'll play with the bevel tool on edges. So there's my edge, bevel, and now I can take that edge and split it, spread it out. I'm just getting more geometry in here. And from here, I can change my segments up. So I'm gonna go to like 3. Whoop, too far, too fast. So yeah, we'll go with that. And now I've got some cool stuff that I can start pulling back. So I'm gonna again go, just grab an edge. I've got edges in place now. So I'm gonna go grab that first set of edges. The edge rings. And I'll pull those back. So I'm just gonna pull back on the Y a little bit. And I'm gonna Control plus and get more, and then pull back again. And so we start to get a curve to that back. Maybe get your spine in there a little bit better. From here, we can keep just shaping. So I'm going to grab that edge and this edge. Trying to get this top set and the bottom set on both. Oh, now I'm under the chair. There we go, and shift and click. And I've got 8 edges selected, and for those I'm going to go select and edge loops. I've got all the way over. Got a bunch of edges selected. I'm going to round those out using that bevel tool now. Back to bevel. It just kind of breaks it up. Add some curve in there. Again, we're getting rid of sharp edges so that we're not hurting anybody. That's kind of good. Ended up looking a little weird here in the corners where it also beveled, but that's okay. We're going to roll with it. I want to make sure that my on there yet, so I'm checking my modifiers. It's not there, so I'm going to right click on this guy, shade auto smooth, and we'll leave it about 30. Maybe go up. Let's try 35. Yeah, so now we can see it looks really smooth. We rounded that out and along that side too, but we still get our sharp edges where we actually have sharp edges. And this looks like a much more comfortable chair than what we started with. I'm just going to keep dinking with it. I'm going to bevel some more edges, round some more things out, and then we'll work on making 3 more chairs just like it. Grab these edges, so grab that corner, this corner. Tooltips here getting in the way. There we go. Got all 4 of those. I'm going to bevel those as well. And I can use the tool here. Segments. And if you really want to be nice to your guest, you can push down the middle of that chair a little bit, make room for someone's butt, but we're not going to get into all that just now. Legs are straight down. There's no braces underneath. This still looks like it might be a little bit wobbly, but we're going to roll with it. So we got a chair. And now how do we make 3 more? Duplicate. Yes. Why do the same job twice? So with it selected here, just got my chair. The magic is Shift D. That'll make a duplicate. And immediately if I start moving my mouse around, I've got this new chair that just kind of floats with it. And it'll land wherever I click, which ends up being some weird spot. It's in the ground. to avoid that, what I usually do is I will Shift D and then hit escape right away. So there's no mouse movement, and the first chair is exactly where the second chair is, and then I move it over, and now I'm going to clone the both of them. So I've got two selected. Shift D again, escape again, so it stays where it was at before. I'll pull these over this way. Go R, Z, 180, and I'll flip them around, hit enter. Now I've got four chairs. Let's see where they are in relation to my hidden table. Oh, not as good. Fine. Just grab four chairs, shift click, and we'll move over. Rotate it around. Oh, okay, that's a fun one. So when I go to rotate four chairs at the same time, they're rotating along their own axes. Doesn't help me much. So I'm going to undo that. If I come up here, this little magic guy, it looks like two circles. Transform point pivot. So individual origins is what happens. They all rotated along their individual origins. I'm going to try rotating them. I can either try around the 3D cursor or a bounding box center. I think I'm going to try bounding box. And there we go. And that rotates all four of them together as a group. And we went negative 90.2. So that's fine. You can either make it an exact number, and then everyone obviously knows that you're either insane when you're laying out your furniture in your house and like got measuring tools and lasers out, or this is all fake. Now we can start maybe just rotating them all a little bit differently just to make it look more natural. Nothing in the world is that straight. So now they're just kind of sitting there, and we'll pull this one forward, tuck it in. It just looks a little bit more natural when it's chaotic. And that's how I explain what happens in my classroom when people ask. Just a little bit more natural when it's chaotic. Nice. We got a table. We got chairs. Good to go. I think we need to do a round table next and maybe a lamp on it. We can do a classic table lamp where the lamp is included on it. So let's try it. We'll do the round one. So we'll start with, instead of a cube, we're going to mix it up. I'm going to add a cylinder. There's a big honking cylinder. 32 is fine. That's how many edges are around the side or vertices. Radius 1 meter. There's a big table. Let's just go to like half. It's a small little end table. And then our depth like 0.02 or something. We just want to do the top of the table right now. Pull it up. We'll make it roughly the same height as this table. And we'll start there. Let me go hide my other stuff. Oh no, look what I did. I've got 4 cubes here. I didn't even rename my chair before I duplicated it. So now I've got to name them all. Can I do that at once? Nope. All right, so I got chair 2, chair 3. All right. You'd be shocked at how many cubes you can get in one scene. And then when you're like, oh, what do I need to do? I need to fix this cube over here. You don't know what's what. It's awful. All right, I've got a cylinder. Yeah, obviously. And kind of what we did before. I'm going to go into edit mode here. I'm going to grab the face on the bottom, and I'm going to inset it. So you can use I as a shortcut and inset that some. I again inset that some more. We got that nice little round piece that holds it up. I'm gonna do one more time. I and inset. We're gonna get really crazy on the bottom here. We'll go there, and I'm gonna select some faces on the bottom. So I'm gonna try shift. Let me start here. So I'm gonna do one here, and if I hold down Control and then click some more, then it'll try to find the shortest path to your new one. And get the whole thing selected. Put down shift, I'm gonna select the center one, and I'm gonna do like some kind of spokes in the middle here. Just randomly. Maybe at logical intervals. Those look fairly equidistant. All right, so we got more support on the bottom. So I've selected all those. I'm gonna hit E to extrude and come down. Got that, and so our table is very well supported. I'm going to inset one more time in the middle here, and then just start E to extrude down. And we can keep having kind of fun with what we did with the rounded chair legs. So I can E, extrude again, just kind of keep going. I can start scaling. E again. S again to scale. I'll just kind of keep shaping a little bit. And we can come back and adjust those later, but just trying to go for some fancy rounded designs here at the bottom. E will go straight for a bit. We'll start scaling back out and make a nice rounded part here in the middle. Actually, let's do something. Yeah, we'll do it this way. We'll save that for next week. Literally just eyeballing and just using E and S. Straight, come in and scale it in a little bit. Why? I don't know. Some woodworker somewhere hates us right now. If he's got a good lathing tool, he's fine. I'm just going to inset, and we'll come down some more. So, looks like you have soft select on. Turn that little blue guy off. Yeah, that was next week's lesson, but thanks for working ahead. Let me see where we're at. And just that. And what do I want to do at the bottom here? We'll do another ball. This one's fun. If I go E and then just come down just barely and then scale it out, then I've kind of done a backwards inset. Just trying to mimic what I did up top here a little bit. Is this at all necessary? No. That's what we're doing. We might just end it with a, yeah, we'll do that. We'll just keep getting, just round it out, and we'll do the legs separately. Well, we'll do the legs next, not separately. All right, let's keep scaling this down until it goes to almost nothing. Just a little bit, scale it a lot. Now it looks like we've got a floating weird pivot thing, which is kind of cool. All right, I'm going to come up here to this band that I selected, and I'm going to change my extrude tool first. So by default, and then when we hit E, we just extrude the region. So whatever we've got selected, it goes in a straight direction. I hover on the extrude tool. I've got a bunch of other things I can do, and I'm going to do extrude along normals so that everything goes their own direction. And now I'm going to come up here and select like maybe 3. 1, 2, 3. Let's see, we're 32. If we divide that by 4, that's what? 8? Yeah. So we'll do 3, then we'll skip 5, and we've got 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll do 3 more. Skip 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Grab 3 more. There, now they're equidistant, and I'm going to use this extrude tool. I'm going to pull out. I'm going to scale them a little bit. I'm just going to keep more. I'll move them down with the move tool. Extrude some more. Move it down some more. So there's some weird little claw feet, but I think they're going to hold the table up. Come up here, and I'm back in, hit tab, I'm back in object mode. I'm going to do the auto smooth again and see what this looks like. It's kind of not bad. Yeah. Maybe not long enough. A little shorty table. There it is. Aha. There's my pink. Because I moved that wood texture, and so now I get this amazing pink color. You'll come to hate this color. If this is already your favorite color, I'm sorry. This class is going to ruin you. Or you're going to experience this class different than anybody else. And so, yeah, once I realize we've got a problem, I can do what I showed you earlier. It's going to go File, External Data, Find Missing Files. And it's not where it should be. That's on me. I moved it. So I'm just going to come up and we say Find Missing Files here at this level. Boom. It's like, oh, yeah, wood grain. Got you. It knows where it's at. Okay. So that's... If I move that down, it's going to be awfully short. Oh, yeah, Lazy Susan, it almost looks like it. I was going for more of an end table, but then it ended up being very short, so I think I'm going to have to just move some things around. Just yeah, and say, look, nope, that's what I intended to do all the time. It's the good thing about 3D modeling is we can pretend it was all deliberate. Yeah. No, that's what I meant to do, obviously. All right, I'm going to make that a little bit taller. And I could do that maybe by scaling on Z and literally just stretching the whole thing out, but that's stretching everything. And I'm going to lose the roundness of that ball shape that I had. So maybe I don't want to do it that way. Pull this over. And I want the top to be about there. So now I just need to move the bottom down some. Here, tab. And I think I'll just grab all of this and move it down. Yeah, that'll work. So if I go to wireframe mode and I do that kind of a box selection, then it should grab everything. Yeah. So the faces are blocking that selection when you're in solid mode, but if you go to wireframe, then it'll grab everything within your box. So now I'm going to go back to this, and I'm going to pull that down until it's right on that X line right there. And again, we're going to pretend this is what we wanted the whole time. Solid, good to go. All right, I think I do want to, because that's going to scrape up my hardwood floor. Look at how sharp that edge is on those legs. So I think I'm going to go into edit mode and we're going to try bridging those edges. I'm going to grab 1, 2, 3. Grab all those on the bottom there. Not bridge, we're going to bevel. So, oh, dang it. I hate when I hit caps lock instead of shift. There we go. 12 edges selected, and we'll try to bevel those. Oh, fantastic. It's just moving it up. That's kind of what I wanted. Maybe I can just pull it back down afterwards. Play with some settings. All right, offset was good. Maybe absolute. I like that. That looks good. All right, now I'm going to get really particular, and we're going to use some snapping. So I beveled it, so they're not straight now. Like it looks like they're at an angle a little bit, but at least they're not super sharp edges. They're going to scrape up my hardwood floor, right? So I'm going to get out of the bevel tool here. I want to use what I've got there. So I'm going to come up here, and this little magnet guy is snaps. And so that'll snap some things where we want it to be. I'm going to lay that floor down. Oh, I've already got a floor, didn't I? I made a room. Yeah, we'll just use this. So I've got this guy here. And I'm going to set my snaps. I'm going to turn them on. Nope, not that one. Next one. Turn the snaps on. And we're going to say snap to the edge instead of vertices. And now with my bottom faces selected here on my table, I'm going to grab on the Z-axis and pull, and then try to get my little snappy guy to hit that edge over there between the wall and the floor. So now those are right on the ground. Some of them are right on the ground. They're still off. All right, let me do this. I'm going to grab these edges. Aha. So the edges that are down lower, look around, try and grab those. The actual modeling never really takes that long. It's the fine tuning that you can just lose hours in. All right, so now I'm going to do that. Got my move tool back on. I've still got snaps on. I'm going to pull up, and then again, grab that edge in the corner, and now that's got a nice flat bottom right on the floor. Which edges? Oof. Okay, let me see what you got. Yeah, yeah. The bevel tool is really fun. Where if you bevel anything a little too much, then it goes. I think it's the core of the explosion tool, which is also a thing we'll look at later. Yeah, a little less. Yeah, that's fine. A little less sharp is good. Yes, yeah. Those are your choices for sure. All right. Speaking of the bevel tool, I'm going to come to the top here, and we're going to round the top a little bit. So I'm just going to grab this face, bevel it just a bit. Ha! Look at that. And just like, no, no, no. And then, yes, it does a whole bunch at once. I just want a little bit. Pull too far, you get weirdness. Wait a minute. Yeah, I actually kind of like that. Our table turned into a spaceship. No, I'm going to pull back up. I just want a little bit. There we go. I'm going to up the segments to at least 3. Now we got a nice rounded top. I kind of like it. All right, let me change this to 45 and see what happens. Yeah, I like it. Okay, so we made a cool end table. And let's look. So we saw the UV for the table or anything when we start with a cube is that cool cross shape. But now with this, if I come to UV, hit everything. So I'm tab, I'm in edit mode, A for select all. So when you make a cylinder, this is the default UV layout. The sides of the cylinder are up here, and you get the top and the bottom. And of course, we did all kinds of other stuff to it, so this is not going to be as effective. So I'm going to do, with this selected, I'm in the UV edit mode. I've got this guy selected. My tools aren't on in this view. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit U on my keyboard for unwrap. And then again, unwrap and smart UV project. And just let Blender do it for us. And we'll get this weird layout, which chunks some things kind of weirdly, but at least isn't going to distort whatever wood grain or whatever we put on there. So we'll keep that. I'll tab this, go back to my modeling. Was I in layout? I was in layout, wasn't I? There we go. So I come over here to the third sphere, which is textures. I didn't put a texture on it yet. But I can go to the very last little ball here, hit plus, make a new material slot, and I'm just going to hit this drop down and say use the wood grain on it. And it'll just wrap that wood grain around. It looks kind of all right. Might be a good time to make a marble tabletop for it, so it looks, different instead of just IKEA pressboard wood grain. What's up? On what's the? Are you in the UV? Here, you just got the middle. So come back over here. Put your mouse in this area. Hit A. Oh, did you make that a separate object?
I'm just wondering, like, what actual seed is. Oh,
Yeah, it's just zoomed way out. That is odd. I don't know why you're not seeing the whole table. Why are you not seeing the top? I would see those orange. I would see the middle four when you do that. Oh. Oh, did you close them dirty? And did you and well, mouse over here, it's not yet, okay. That was weird that it's only tapping along the sides there. I don't know what else she did. All right, where are we at? It's 10:20. We need a lamp of some sort. with We go, what? My computer did something weird. Come here. All right. Just trying to make that smaller. So I'm trying to. All right. Now I'm going to scale. No. There we go. I'll use this. So I'm going to take my tabletop and I inset it, and I'm just going to make a bar come out of the top of the table here. And this has got a lamp literally inside the table. So you might be able to tell how old I am by knowing that these things existed. I don't know if they make these anymore. You've never seen a table with a lamp like as part of it? Okay. Yeah.
Seem like the umbrella table.
Kind of. Yeah. So I'm going to make a new material here. And we're going to call it metal. So I'm going to change my base color to a little bit more gray. Metallic, I'm just going to crank this up. So now it's shiny, and I'm going to assign that to this little guy in the middle. And then when I extrude it up, oh, it's not doing the rest of it. That's lame. All right. Extrude it up, and then select all of it and assign. There we go. Move that up some more. So we're going to make a very rudimentary. We're not going to get into all the nuts and bolts and guts of a table lamp. But we'll come up somewhat. We're probably not going to make the bulb. I'm going to E and extrude again to give me something kind of like what we did at the bottom, but I'm going to have something that can come out with the lamp shade and extrude again in case I want to do a bulb up here. All right, zoom in, grab an edge here. I'm going to go ahead and say select the rings and then zoom with tilde 3. Almost exactly what I did with the legs. I'm going to try and grab a few of these and just extrude them out. Just grab one. Do it in twos. I'm using this orthographic tumbler here. I'm just going around. It's in the middle. Okay. And so if I hit E at this point to extrude, then it's using the regular extrude and they all want to go one way. Doesn't help me. So I can't use my shortcut or that simple shortcut here. So I'm going to undo that and go back to this extrude tool where it says extrude along normals. Pull that out. We're just making little spokes for what will be our lampshade. I think I want to try and scale it some. No, it just goes back in. Okay, let me undo that. Let me show you something to do here. So we're still on our bounding box center for our transforms. I'm going to go back to individual origins. Now if I scale, it's leaving them where they're at, but making it small. All right, I'm going to extrude once more, and let's see what I want to do. No, we're going to fake this. Yeah, naturally. That's what we're going to do. All right. So this is, if I go back to object mode and I add something, I'm adding a brand new object. Okay, so if I go mesh and say I want another cylinder or a torus, I've got a brand new object somewhere that is its own thing, and I don't want to do that. But if I've got my table selected here, my table lamp, and I go to edit mode, so hit tab and I'm back here. Now when I add something, it's going to become, it's grouped with this thing that I'm building already. So I'm going to add, I guess, a cylinder. Where's the pipe? I used to have a pipe somewhere. No, I'll just add another cylinder. And he's out of place. Fantastic. Right, so I added a new cylinder. It's in here. It's part of us. Pull it back up here. And we'll stitch together here in a minute. So it should be as wide as the other one. I'm going to take just this new cylinder and I'm going to scale it up. S on the Z, so I want to make it taller. And then I'm going to grab the two faces on the top and on the bottom. I to inset that. So we come in just a little bit. I love that we have a wood grain lampshade. It's awesome. And now I've got an inset. Let me see if this will work. So I've got both of those selected. I'm going to try the same thing we did when we made the back of our chair. But I'm going to hope that this connects these together. So I'm going to go edge and bridge edge loops, and there it worked. So now it hollowed out the inside of that between those two faces. I have a solid lampshade. Cool, cool. All right, a couple more things to do here. So I'm going to grab just this edge, one edge on the inside, and I'm going to go to select loops, edge rings. So I'm going to grab all of those. Go to edge and subdivide, and we'll say make two cuts. And so I'm just making something here in the middle to hold that, maybe toward the top. And we'll do it right in the middle. We won't get too fancy. Okay. So number of cuts is 2. That's fine. Looks good. Let me see if this is centered now. So it's centered over the top of my lamp. Go back to edit. If I've got this selected, so now I've got two objects that are part of the same object. Does that make sense? These are two different shapes. They're not connected right now. So if I select just just one of these faces in the lampshade, and then I go select and select linked, and I've got everything attached to that. So I've just selected all the lampshade and nothing else. Move that down to there-ish. You good? He's getting mad. It's all right. I get mad sometimes too.
I don't know how to get the cylinder all the same
Oh, I had my snap on because did you move your tool as well? Well, give me a minute. Let me finish this and I'll come try and help you triage that. I like that. Let me just do something. So instead of these here, move it out of the way. All right. Instead of me forming this, I'm just going to let the bridge tool do it for me. So I'm going to come back here and get rid of my spokes that I already pre-made. I'm going to make some new ones. I'm going to grab these. Grab the ones on the ends. I'm hitting tilde 3. I don't know why the 3 is not showing up when I hit that on the screen. And instead of the Control Plus that I usually do, for those of you who don't have number pads, it's here. So I select, where's more or less? It's more or less here somewhere. I'm looking at it right there. And more. Now I've expanded my selection. I'm just going to hit X and delete these. Thought I didn't want those. And then I'm going to grab, we've got holes here. Stitch those back in. So if I grab the entire edge loop there, or even just one, I hit F and it fills in a new face. That did one. Let me just go over here and I'll just select one edge here, and I'll show you that happening again. If I just select one edge and hit F, it's going to take it halfway. Hit F again, it's going to fill it in. So we're just filling in faces where I deleted stuff because I changed my mind on how I wanted to do something. So F, there we go. We're all filled in, and I've got that one that looks weird. All right, now I'm going to come back here, take my lampshade. I selected one edge. Again, select linked. I've got all of them. I'm going to move this back down into place-ish. Then at this point, it's just going to be the tricky part of getting things selected. So I'm going to go to faces. I'll grab two faces here. Try to get two faces across from it. So I think these ones. All right, so I've got four faces selected. They're across from each other, and I'm just going to do the same thing we did before. Edge, bridge edge loops, and now I've got, they're connected. So I'm going to do that a few times around. We can do 4. We can just do 3, 2, however many you want. And try and do 3 just to mix it up. They're not going to be perfect. They're not going to be even. But they're going to be what we did. So those two and maybe these two across from it. I had the other one selected. I don't know what that was going to do. Great. Zoom in. Boom. Edge, bridge edge loops. All right. Whatever. It's not perfect, but we got it. It's connected. I'm going to grab. I don't like the wood lampshade after all. So I'm going to add one more material slot here. I'm going to go back to that white color that we had. Try to select all of my lampshade and turn that white. So I'm just going to grab one edge, select rings, and then just start selecting more. That almost gets it, but then I've got my spokes as well. That's fine. I'll just fix that in a minute. So I'm going to change that to white, and then grab the spokey boys there, select rings, control, and hit faces, and I've got those selected. I'll change those back to metal. Boom, we made a table lamp. Literally a table lamp. A lamp table? Probably more of a lamp table. Yeah. They exist, I promise. Huh? Yeah, I don't know. That auto smooth. I think we liked it at more like 40. Okay. Is it the best looking lamp ever? No. Could you probably do something better in the Maker Lab? Yes. But we did it. We checked the box. Let's see what else we're missing here. Floor and walls, we did that. If you want to make windows and doors, even better. We got a rectangular table. We got 4 chairs. We got, we didn't do a bookcase yet. We got a round table lamp table. We got a wood texture. We put on some things. Oh, meta ball. So we're going to make a meta ball couch or chair. And then what I'm going to want you to do in addition, after we do a chair or couch, and we're going to do a bookshelf, you need to make something new. So make a new piece of furniture, something big to go in your room, and then make something small to go in your room. So a prop. It can be a book, a statue, dishes, flowers, laptops. Many times I see X-wing fighters show up on the bookshelves or random things that you're into. Really nicely made Pokeball. But what is happening? That is your table looks more like maybe a coat rack with a table, and it looks like it might attack me. Yeah. All right. We did Metaball, but we're just for one more time on Metaball. We're going to go back here. Let's name our cylinder to be actually something lamp table, as opposed to table lamp, which is a lamp that goes on it. Wait a minute. Anyway, go to lamp table. We'll just hide that for now. And we'll make some more Metaball stuff. So I'm going to add, what was that guy? Metaball. We'll do a cube. Why not? And then I'm going to S on the X. Let's just scale it down on one axis here. It's really getting in my way. Just going to move him for a minute. Now you won't show me the controls for it? Oh, open there. All right. Let's go back over there and be quiet. And then maybe move up here. Maybe that'll be a good spot for it. All right. So I made that. I'm going to scale it on the Z. So S and then Z and then pull down. And I'm going to Shift D and make a copy of it. And then pull this over. Grab both. Shift D. Escape. Rotate with R on the Y. I'm going to come over this way. Let's go and make it a full 90. And then pull those out. It's kind of a couch. Sort of. I'm going to keep going with it. So I'm going to grab just one, hopefully, just one. Pull that over. RZ90. Enter SZ and just make it a little shorter. Slide them back in. Shift D. And then pull it over to the other side. I always forget Metaball's a thing until we're doing this assignment. I'm like, oh yeah, why don't I use that more often? Do we need a base for it? Sure we do. All right, we're going to take this one right here. Shift D, escape. I did the wrong one. Okay, it's fine. And try and put this into place and scale it and make it look like a base. S, Z, scale on the X, come out, and then scale it on the Y. So at least it looks like a more solid base than the two cushions. All right, we did it. It's a thing. Super ugly, but we're going to go with it. We're going to pretend this is what we want to do the whole time. I'm going to do this. I'm going to grab all of my Metaball stuff, and I'm going to show you a cool thing we can do called Control J. And I said a cool thing. No, you're not going to let me do it with the Metaballs. All right, do this first. I'm going to convert to mesh. That did it. All right, so we got regular mesh objects. Control J joins them. Since we were starting with Metaball, I confused it. So I just hit it all the Metaballs, right click, convert to mesh, and now it's one object, and I can rename it to couch. We did that. Look at the topology of this thing, though. It's so weird. It's cool. We got the shape we want. It's got a lot of weird faces on it. It's when you go to add in your cup holder, it's going to be a little weird. But all right, we made a couch. It's here. Let's see if it even fits the room. Oh, it's as big as the entire room. Love that. So it could be our couch is too big. We'll scale it, so hit S, and then just pull down. We are absolutely ignoring the fact that the bottom of this couch just looks like a beanbag. Or maybe that was on purpose. All right, got that. Snap it to the floor, and we'll just drag it over. We've got a couch, we've got our chairs. We've got a table lamp or a lamp table somewhere. Let's move that guy over. Go ahead and color the couch however you want. Or if you really want to be fancy, put a nice texture on it and then delete the texture, and then you go to pink couch. Kind of works. So maybe your extra prop for the room is a Roku remote. I think that's what we're missing here. A TV and a Roku remote.
The TV on the other side of the table.
On the bottom of it, or
No, like, no,
oh yeah, you got to stare across the people playing Uno to watch the TV. I don't know, man.
prime entertainment.
I'm not an interior decorator. Leave me alone. All right. Lots of different ways we can do a bookshelf. So we'll just do one. So I'm going to go ahead and add the cube. Seems to make the most sense. Turn the snapping off. That's bothering me. All right. It's 2 meters tall, so it's over 6 foot tall. So we're going to keep the height. I like that. First, let me scale on the Y. Come in. Scale on the X. Scale on the Y some more. Yeah, right about there. We'll grab the 2 edges on the outside of the front here. Subdivide. Add a few. I'll grab those 3 new edges and bevel them. Which, by the way, we can do from up here, bevel edges. Only one segment. No, I'm not going to do it that way. I'm not going to bevel it. I'll do it this. We'll inset them. So I'm going to grab the 4 faces, inset. Let's see. Oh, I should have set my scale. Let me do that. So tab, object mode, Control A, apply the scale. I'm going to go back here and inset these 4 faces. And so they're going to come in equally, but they come in all as one thing, which is not what we want. So down here, I'm going to select individual. And now if they're all getting their own inset, and then I can just E and extrude those in. E. We can add legs to it. We can add fancy decorations. We can have a nice beveled top that flares out, whatever you want. But we're running out of time. So the main thing we need to do is to add the wood material to it. So I'm going to come over here. I'm on my material ball. Add a slot. Make it wood grain. Looks all funky because we did some extruding and stretching. So go to UV editing. Actually, we can just do it here. We don't even have to go to the UV editing tab. But I like it because it shows us what we're doing. So hit tab. A to select everything. U for UV unwrap. Select Smart UV Project. Click on unwrap. And then tab back out. And now our wood grain all looks nice. That is the worst bookcase I've ever made. It's awful, but because we're running out of time. Make it cooler. Give it a base. Give it legs, and then make some cool or whatever, or make some cool props for it. Round the edges. Make it nicer.
What kind of stuff would you even put on a bookshelf?
So for one, there's these things called books. Before they used to cram them onto your phone in that Kindle app, they were these just big piles of paper that they bound together.
How old are you?
I was there, Gandalf. Yeah, so you need to make all of this wood grain on some stuff, floors, walls, and then at this point, one more big thing. It can be furniture, it can be a sink, a refrigerator, whatever. Make something else big for the room. Apparently, it's a studio apartment because we're cramming all this stuff into one room. And then make something smaller but more detailed. Mini fridge, obviously. And then make sure, please, before I even stop recording, please make sure all of your textures that you're using are actually in your textures folder so that I don't have to look at horrid pink the entire time. And then, again, you will zip up whatever that whole folder is. So week 2 furniture, whatever, and with exports, renders, scenes, textures all inside of it. Textures go in the textures folder. And you're good to go. Questions, comments, concerns, Yelp reviews. 1 out of 10 would not go back to class. Okay, that's fair. All right, got it. All right, have fun with it. Keep this file on hand. Next week, we're going to put a lot of stuff on the table. I'm going to turn this into a gaming room. I'm about to go and talk to the rest of the faculty.